Hey, welcome to Lady Overlander Radio. Tonight we have Anna Pinto of GoTreads on the show. Stay tuned. Grab your favorite drink, whether it's a coffee, cocktail, or tea, and get ready. It's Ladies' Night on Lady Overlander Radio. Lady Overlander Radio is sponsored by Artemis Overland Hardware, Midland Radio, GoTreads, Overland Spices, Wildland Coffee, Timbo Tusk, the Moore Expo, and Adventure Trail Outfitters, maker of the Overland Shower. Want to support Team Lady Overlander Radio in the 2023 Rebel Rally? You can donate to our cause on GoFundMe. Search Lady Overlander Radio, Rebel Rally 2023, and donate. Yes. Shameless plug. Please donate, please. We could use the help. Thank you. Okay, that's all out of the way. How you doing, Anna?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. We're doing pretty well. My husband and I are closing on our new house tomorrow, so we're excited about that.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
finally.
Yes.
But that feels great.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We're going to be a little more centrally located, so we can go pretty much in any direction we want to go travel to. So very excited about that. And let's see what else. Just had a birthday. I just turned 29. I'm going with that. Arla came over for dinner and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And what else have you guys been up to this week? What have you been doing this week, Arla?
Working for a living. I haven't won the lottery yet, so I got to keep going back, right?
Yep.
We
How's
got
your week been, Anna?
Road, Tate Davis from Overland Spices, and Aaron from Lady Toyota.
Hey, everybody.
Yes. Let's see. Working this week, doing all the adulting things and whatnots and blah. There's Amy from LOT. She's in the house too.
Amy.
They come to support their girl.
Aw. Yeah. That's because Amy loves her some Anna. I know it.
She's what you call a promoter. So I love that. You can always count on Amy to be in your corner. Whatever you need. You might need to be picked up from somewhere. Good at that. Or might help on the trail. Yeah. So she's a good person to have in your pocket.
She's amazing.
That's right.
And
Jared she's our here from Shop Overland Apparel.
Jared.
Merch, baby.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations on setting the date for your wedding, Jared.
Married.
Woohoo.
Got Chad Clifton on here.
Nice.
Oh
yes. Aw, we love you, Amy. All right. So we got a lot of people in the house tonight. That's awesome. Thank you guys for watching.
Yes.
So Anna, why don't you go ahead and give the audience a little background on yourself with those of the people that are watching that don't know you.
Okay. Awesome. Well, my name is Anna Pinto. So GoTreads is our family company. My dad invented the product back in 1975. It's first manufactured in 1991. So it's literally older than me. I grew up with them. I mean, we all had them in our vehicle. I didn't honestly use them a ton of times, but now having come with the company full time, almost a year now. So almost a year full time, I've learned a lot in that time. And I've also just discovered a whole new world, of adventuring and camping and off-roading, sometimes to my chagrin. I love my Tacoma. So there have been some moments where I was like, is this really the direction I want to go with my life? But it's been so rewarding, just the people and all the good stuff. So I've just really enjoyed a big shift. I used to be in food service management. So going over into a totally different world has been, wow, what a 180, right?
And so you do customer relations for GoTreads, correct? Is that your responsibility, your primary?
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody has any warranty claims or any problems or questions or anything like that, they talk to you, correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
So but
that never really happens. So. You're
Actually,
very bored.
I kind of am sometimes, but so if anybody's bored during the day, feel free to give me a call at the 1-800 number, and you can make up questions, or we can actually talk about whatever. So I'd be more than happy to chat it up with you. So
very cool. Well, we want to thank GoTreads for coming on as one of our sponsors and sponsoring us in the 2023 Rebel Rally. We really appreciate that. Yes.
Absolutely. We're excited for you. That's going to be quite an experience. I'm sure maybe mixed feelings, or are we 100% excited about that?
Excited but terrified. Yes.
Yes.
A little bit.
She said.
So it was pretty cool, though. I went to a local outdoor store today and spoke to one of the managers, and she talked to us about that there's some outdoor navigation classes that they offer there. So I'm going to sign up for one of those, and some wilderness safety and stuff like that, just to kind of, get that little bit of background and experience. And Arla's already a, badass off-roader, so I'm not worried about the driving part too much. But
Send it. No,
I
I'm just kidding.
think that we're going to be ready. We're going to train up as much as we can, and I think it's going to be a great experience. So
Let's wing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I again, very new to the world, but even just the things that I've seen, the videos I watched, it blows my mind, honestly, because coming from more of a conventional world, not only is it a whole new world, but just what it takes to kind of be in this, even if you're just doing it for fun. I've just been so blown away by just the grit that people have, and the fun they have doing it is always the thing that really kind of baffles me, because I'm still in the, this is all new and I'm terrified of everything. And what was that sound? And it's not going to be super expensive to fix. Do I need to fix something? And I'm going through my head with all these scenarios, right? And I'm just with these people who are just bold and send it. I know what that means now. Didn't know what that meant, even 6 months ago.
That.
I was like, what? Like, is it, because again, it's, so it's been kind of a sharp learning curve for me. But so fun, and what a great crowd of people. Very, very divergent in a lot of ways, for sure.
Chuck Ball says that we need to take a CPR and first aid class. Well, we are doing that already, Chuck. So that's already in the works. So absolutely true.
Yep. One of our other sponsors, Switchback Outdoor Safety, is sponsoring a free 2-on-1 class for us. So we're going to cover all kinds of things, from recovery to first aid to trauma care to wilderness safety, everything. So,
and that way you won't need it, because if you take the class, then you're kind of almost guaranteed, well, if I have the knowledge, I won't need to use it. So it's a double.
Misty's an ex-coastie and stuff, so I'm not worried about bleeding out on the trail or anything,
I can treat a sucking chest wound and everything.
What?
Yeah.
Ew. So Chad Clifton says, what vehicle are y'all using for the rally? Chad, the Jeep, bro.
This year.
This year. We'll see how this year goes.
Yeah. If we decide we're to be crazy enough to do it next year, then we'll use the Toyota. So
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So speaking of rigs, let's talk about your rig here. Let me put your picture up here. There she is.
Yeah.
And a puppy. Man.
Yes.
The truck. Yeah, I forgot I would look at the truck. Sorry, my bad.
So tell us about your rig build. What do you have on there?
Like I said before, just totally new to all this. I've had that Tacoma. It's a 2009. I think I've had it roughly around maybe 8 years now. And when I originally got it, it was red. I had a 2003 that my brother had gifted to me. So that's kind of where the Tacoma love started. And then when that beautiful thing was wrecked, which was such a tragedy, I remember, side story. So backstory of Tacoma love. So 2003, I'm driving to work. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's kind of rainy and cold. It's in December, January timeframe. So I was like, trying to be cautious, and I'm just going on my way. It's 5:30 in the morning. And I'm going through this intersection. It's green, but then coming from the other direction is someone who's trying to turn left. And so I guess neglected to realize there was no green arrow. It was just a green light. So he tries to turn, and I'm coming on just, going to work. And I remember the impact. And my first thought was, oh, I hope that can be fixed. Because I love this truck, right?
Yeah.
Little manual, the cutest little first gen Tacoma. And so I start skidding sideways, just praying that it'll be fixed. Not worried about myself or anything. I just want my truck to be fixed. And then we hit this curb thing, and my truck tips over onto its side into a light pole. And then I go,
oh my goodness.
Nope, she's done. And then I'm sitting there hanging in my seatbelt, how am I going to get out of here? Right? It's just the funniest thing to go through your mind when you're going through a car accident.
Slow-mo.
Things. So I got out, and that was my jokingly first question to the fireman was do you think we can get this fixed? And they're kind of looking at it, I go, you might be able to buff some of that out, but I don't think so. And so, and then I go to a Toyota dealership when I'm still raw with emotion of this great loss I've experienced. And man, they like went in for the jugular and like, we have the perfect Tacoma for you. Like, you don't even know me from Adam, but it's fine. And they're like, it's red, it's got a lift on it, and we're not even going to charge you extra. Like, and it's the whole ever spiel, they spiel. And I walk out, and they said red. And I was like, like red? Really? I love red. Not on my track. Like, I want to, like, I don't know. So I got love at first sight. It's a traditional story of, like, I love this thing. Obviously, way out of my price range. It didn't matter. I was in love. So I drive it home, and I kind of have that buyer's remorse of, like, what have I done?
Yeah.
So worth it. So worth it. It's paid off now. All's fine and well. But another tragic story. I'm driving to Oklahoma in November of 2020. 19? Don't remember. Anywho, driving down, hit a deer. And I was first thought, oh no, I hope that can be fixed. And that wasn't so bad. It was the point at which I then hit the guardrail and then kind of like all down the side of the truck. And I was like, oh no. Okay. So we'll fast forward through all the gory details of recovery there, but it was able to be fixed. I bought it back from the insurance company. It was almost all cosmetic damage. I was like, great. I never liked red anyway. And so we got it fixed. It drove around for probably 3 months with a red truck, a silver fender, and a white door. So that was epic. No bumper because that got obliterated. And I was like, time for upgrades, right? And so that's what began the whole build. First was with the vinyl wrap to make it one color. Then we got the fender flares and then the bumper. And you know how it just kind of, snowballed.
Oh, yeah.
So the deer kept your bumper as its souvenir or something?
Yeah. I don't know if it kept her or she kept it, but it was pretty painless for her.
They probably joined together forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that was my justification for the build. And then again, due to the industry, I'll do this, this, and this, and then I'll be done. It doesn't work like that.
No, it absolutely no.
Does not.
So I fully embraced the rabbit hole, and we're just gonna keep on going
down
it. Yes. And in fact, she's in the shop right now. Unfortunately, not for pretty fun stuff, which is what I prefer. It's more of it's 270,000 miles, and some of the things are starting to creak and not work like they're supposed to. So, yeah. So there's that.
You got to do that. So I just did a tire rotation and balance and a oil change and everything else the other day. So I get it.
All the things.
Yep.
I just got in new control arms. Looking at brakes tonight, upgrading the brakes. Oh yeah.
Never ends.
Just take my money, man.
Right.
Take it all.
Oh yeah.
Lee from LOT's in the house.
Lee, hello. Awesome. So what is your favorite place to camp that you've been to so far? So you said you've kind of gotten into all that recently.
Right.
What do you think your favorite place is so far?
Well, honestly, if it was to put it into a category, I just love the forest. I've always loved the forest, actually. And so discovering this whole world of camping in the forest and just really fully embracing that experience has been like coming home for me. And I haven't done a lot of traveling and camping, I will admit. Most of my traveling has been, limited to doing the Overland shows and it kind of being more of like the on face, so I haven't really gotten to really get into the extreme camping, which is on the list. But Arkansas. So first of all, Arkansas has always felt like home to me. That's where I was born. I love trees. I love the hills. I love just pretty much everything about it, minus like seed ticks and chiggers. They can, we can leave them out of it, but
copperheads. Not a fan of any of that.
No, it's a trade-off. But anyway, so Arkansas has been just amazing. The Ozark National Forest, we got to do that Lady Overlander ride during that time, and I just, give me the trees. So I'm really looking forward to experiencing more trees. Oak has kind of been my world up until this point, and cottonwood being from Kansas. But yeah, I love the national forests. I love what they have to offer because again, you can do the dispersed camping. But it's just so many options, so many different roads and kind of roads, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to explore and be with friends. That was an element I didn't anticipate. I've kind of been a lone ranger most of my life for one reason or another. So finding a community and a tribe and people to adventure with together has honestly been an even like bigger benefit and just a reward for me. I love the trees, but you put something you love about nature and you do it with people that you're falling in love with because they're passionate about the same thing. Like, that's just been so cool, so rewarding, just ultimately fulfilling experience. And sometimes it's like the most unlikely people that, I probably would have met. I know I never would have crossed paths with unless they came to Chick-fil-A and came through the drive-thru. Probably would have crossed their path then. But, I don't get to know them in the drive-thru. It's like 10 seconds. See you later. Have a great day. My pleasure. So yeah, I just really enjoyed Arkansas for the people and for the land, and I'm just looking forward to just expanding that circle and seeing what else and who else might be out there. So
Yeah, definitely. I know that we hung out. You came to the She Served Two female veteran camp and ride.
Yep.
And we camped out for a few days with Oscar Mike Overland, and then we did a nice trail ride. And I believe your Toyota did just fine. I think Gloria lost some steps on the side, I think. But
She
yeah.
did.
Well, it's crazy about that too, because again, I love this truck probably more than I should, and every time I'm hitting I don't do the, what do they call it? Pick your line, or I pick the wrong line, or don't pick a line at all and just see what happens. I'm hearing everything.
Wing it.
I know. And I'm like, I'm feeling everything in my soul, and I'm behind Gloria, and I'm seeing things flying off her vehicle, and I was like, and afterwards I asked her, I was like, "Are you okay?" She goes, "What are you talking about? That was fun." I was like, what? And anyway, so just that adventurous spirit, and it'll be fine. We can get it fixed. And then her response, I loved it. So classy. Goes, I was wanting to replace those anyway. So kind of.
I'm going to build new ones. She fabricated
she just built her own.
Build new ones. That's
completely
right.
an excuse to do so. Yep, she was happy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So a lot of cool experiences, memorable moments during that trip for sure. So
yeah. No, it was awesome. It was great meeting fellow female veterans. It was great hanging out with such an awesome group of people. We had some great talks around the campfire. I really, really enjoyed it.
The campfires, though, I've always enjoyed bonfires, campfires, any kind of fires. Might be pyro. It's undiagnosed. But what's so cool about sitting in a group of people around a fire, again, some of them literal strangers, some virtual strangers, and some people you think really well, but you sit around a campfire and just something happens, and it's just a beautiful experience. It's just, I love it. So
There's
real.
one of the veterans.
Hey, Amanda.
Yeah. Hey, Amanda.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny.
Oh, and Amanda, like, no door. Okay, we're going through the Arkansas drought of 2022, dust everywhere. And this woman, she'd just taken off everything. She's like, I don't care. And she was covered in dust, smiling the whole time, taking everything in stride. And so, oh man, just so cool. Love it.
So dusty.
She earned a pretty cool nickname while she was there.
Oh, Lord. Yes, she did.
Yeah.
It was a great time. I had a really, really fun time. We definitely have to do it again.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about GoTreads, the company. How was it started? How long you guys been rolling out these amazing traction boards?
Right. Well, like I said before, it was my dad invented it in 1975. He invented it. They talk about when you're in the looking for either start a business or create a product, find a need and meet it. And literally that's what he did. He was living in Illinois at the time, driving a little 2-door or 4-door sedan, 2-wheel drive. I wasn't born yet. It was just, oh gosh, only one of my brothers was born at that point. And he basically was just getting tired of trying to get out of his driveway and getting stuck, because he would spend all morning long before work shoveling it all off, and then pretty soon here comes the the plow truck and plow the road, and where does that snow go?
All back. Yeah.
So it's like, man, there's got to be a way that I could just make something to just get through this. Those are not his exact words, I'm paraphrasing here, because I wasn't around. I didn't hear the story live because I wasn't born yet. Anyway,
right. Even a twinkle in his eye at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. He was just tired of getting stuck in the snow, and he goes, I can't be the only one out there. Anyway, so he's always been an engineer, so he thinks in these like numbers, and he's always strategizing something or other and drawing it out by hand, and there's a lot of math involved, and also not my cup of tea. So anyway, so he drew it out, and then life happens. He's working a full-time job. He gets relocated to Arkansas, where years later, because I'm really young. Years later, I'm born. I won't disclose the year. Anyway, so then, working a full-time job. By this point, there's 4 of us kids at home. And so trying to fund a new product, get the patent. I believe that patent was one of the biggest steps in the process, not only the cost of a patent, but just the process in and of itself. And this is even back in the 90s. By this time, it's about 1991 was when the first product was manufactured. So don't quote me on those dates, but just the process of that, trying to get funding, looking for investors, managing a full-time job, managing 4 children, 3 of them boys. It was a lot going on. So anyway, long story short, I finally was able to get that product released. And at that time, it was a little bit smaller. It's actually what we call our GoTreads now. So it's like this wide, maybe this long. Again, originally designed for passenger vehicles and everyday drivers that are just, driving around town. So then probably early 2000s, he realized that lots of other vehicles also need them, specifically fleet operators. You're talking semi-trucks, and then the military, their tires are a little bit bigger than just a little toilet Avalon, right? And so he redesigned it, made it wider, made the treads deeper, bigger, all these things. And so that was in the early 2000s. And yeah, let's see, where was I going with that?
So that's when the company really started picking up momentum and kind of growing, and then you got into the off-road community as well.
Yes, and that was another big milestone for us, because again, we didn't know this whole world even existed. It was actually my older brother Aaron who was like, hey, there's a market for this product in this thing called overlanding and off-roading. And all of us, looked at him like, oh, is that, and what, and then who? And then my dad, a little bit skeptical at first. He kind of didn't catch that same vision. He was really thinking more toward those larger accounts, the fleet operators, and again, the military. And we're blessed to be able to get a contract with them. So, still working all those angles. And then my brother's like, hey, let's try this. And so we did. And it has been, that is really what just kind of took things off the chart as far as just that exposure and the visibility of them. It's just been, crazy. I think it's been around 7 years now. We've been officially kind of like approaching this market and throwing the product out there to folks. And it's been really awesome. And honestly, that's a lot of why I was able to come full time on the company. So that's been really cool. And also, for us kids, getting to see my mom and dad finally, we'd like to say they're slowing down, but they're really not. But anyway, just to see their dream really come to fruition and ultimately see people's lives made better. Whether it be they're just out there adventuring, it gives you peace of mind, whether it is, your mom in a minivan and you're trying to drive in the winter, whatever the need is, or you're in the military and you're out in the desert. It's just been really cool to see him give something back. And, basically, to the people, especially people that serve. That's just been a huge passion of his, and he instilled that in all of us. And just be able to see it not only affect those people that he initially had the heart for, but just the ripple of like, this product's like so useful for so many people. And that can make such a positive difference, whether it's, again, just because you're out having fun or, God forbid, you're in an emergency situation. It's just a really cool thing. And he gets to see that now, and hopefully one day actually retire. That's our hope for him, but he loves what he does. And so we're like, all right. So he gets to come to some of the shows sometimes, and he just loves talking to people. He loves meeting people, hearing their stories. Yeah. And honestly, I think that's what I love so much about my role, is it's just really about getting to know people and people being people. And just, yeah.
We got a question.
Oh, I love questions.
Jason and Kate from Experiencing Arkansas want to know what your favorite expo you regularly attend.
My personal favorite expo is going to be Mountain West in Loveland, Colorado, namely because that is the only one I've been to so far. Love Colorado. It's beautiful out there. As far as us as a company, they're all pretty great. I know my brother loves going to Flagstaff. He loves Arizona, being out there, but man, East Coast is great. And what I love about the expos is they're kind of, there's one over here, they're all over. And so you really get the scope of the different subcultures within the larger culture, because your East Coast crowd's going to have a little different flavor than your Loveland crowd. And this past year, they had one up in the Pacific Northwest for the first time. And it was kind of funny. We were joking about like that was Oregon and Washington were two of the states that we sold the most GoTreads to even before there was an expo there. So we were joking about, do we really need to go? Because everybody in Oregon already has them. But they enjoyed going to that one. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area. Again, beautiful things about all the parts of the country. And the expo is just great because you can see a little bit of everything. So.
And you were at More Expo.
Yes.
In April.
That was a great show. I love the flair of the larger shows, but there's just something to be said for those smaller community focused ones because you start seeing those repeat folks and it becomes more of like a reunion. You see new people and that's awesome, but you get to see returning customers and you see those at the expo too, but love the community feel of the smaller ones.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I really enjoyed More. I think Arla and I were both extremely exhausted by the end of that though. Like there were long days.
Yeah, that was
You
a
know,
busy.
It was
Everybody's
very busy.
With, come nighttime, everybody's just like, oh.
Yeah, good night. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah. And you went to Rendezvous in the Ozarks.
That was actually not this past year, but that was the first show that I went to. Well, that was while I was still with Chick-fil-A. So that must have been in 2021, 20. Anyway, but that was my first exposure to the expo world was the Rendezvous one. So that's always going to hold a near and dear place in my heart. And it's Arkansas, so I'm a little biased there.
And this year at Rendezvous, you guys did the mixing of the colors.
Yes, the build your own. That was another, idea that my brother had originally a few years ago. Like, what if we just put a bin out and people, kind of picked whatever parts they wanted to. And at first we're like, ooh, from like an inventory and accounting standpoint, it's like, how are we going to track that? How are we going to ring that up? And so we kind of just tabled that idea. And then it was it Big Iron? Amy would know this better than I did. One of the Big Iron shows. They were working with Blue Land Overland, and Chris had it on his heart to create a custom one for them so that they could auction it off and bring in some revenue for the kiddos. And so that's when the first one was officially built. And then that whole idea kind of got rebirthed, and Chris really championed for more people want to do this, and why not do this? And so we finally convinced my dad to like, hey, let's just give it a shot. Rendezvous is a smaller show, a lot of people we know, and we can, so let's help if we need to. And so we got to kind of play around with that and have some fun.
Yeah, I have a nice little set of purple and black, and Arla did red and black, so we mixed our colors really nicely.
And Chris Marler and Briar were on site to make those for us.
Yes, they've been unofficially adopted into the family. So we're pretty much just
Amy.
It's just the Marler Pinto is kind of interchangeable at this point. So
I think the Marlers have been adopted into all of our families at this point.
True.
We love them. They're the best.
How do you not adopt them? I mean, really.
Totally.
Amazing.
I'm adopting Chris because he likes to cook when we're out camping, and I'm down with that.
Right? Those burgers.
Yeah.
The burgers. What?
And what's not to love about Amy? I mean, come on, dude.
She's just amazing.
Don't
She's such a good ambassador for
watching,
Lydia and Toyotas, and just Amanda's got blue and black. Yep. Yeah, they are the best. That's right.
I can literally hear him saying that as he types that. That's right.
So they actually came on as one of our sponsors as well.
Yeah, from Marler Equipment.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
for the Rebel Rally.
Yep. Very excited about that. And I saw Tate Davis mention that he installed his radio that he won on our raffle.
Oh,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Another sponsor of ours, Shop Overland Apparel, is sponsoring us for Rebel Rally also.
Yeah. Overland Spices. So we've got some great people.
I love that. And now that I've been in the crew longer, I know these people you're talking about. It's just great, and I got to go to Oklahoma. Oh shoot. So a couple weeks ago, Overland was having a grand opening. So I got down, got to meet Chase and got to meet Kyle and his family and hang out with some Okies, and then, down there for the Tulsa Rigs and Coffee with Ashley and Jeff as well. And that was lots of fun.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how big the Midwest overlanding crew is getting. I think it's pretty big. Like, my husband and I spend a lot of time out west, and you see all the people that have been doing it for a long time and all their fancy rigs and all the big names and all that. But I really think that the Midwest is where it's at. because
and
you
what are
can
you
go
doing
east,
tomorrow?
west, north, south, whatever,
What you doing tomorrow?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I am closing
Signing
on
on
my
that
house.
house in what
Yeah,
state?
and moving to Arkansas. So,
Bam.
Arkansas
yep,
is
Pick
pretty
Suey.
awesome.
I said it. I said what I said.
I said what I said. That's right. Oh,
I only know y'all. Well, Cliffy, you got to come out a little
that's
more,
true.
bro.
I was like,
yeah.
I'm like thinking, I was like, I don't think I've. It's one of those things where like I'm sure we're on Facebook and I'm sure we like have almost crossed paths, but not quite yet. So.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Erin.
Erin.
Yep.
She's already here.
Yeah,
Oh,
Anna.
Oh, yeah, Anna. Let's discuss that. Anna?
Oh no, I feared that might come up. So I would plan eventually we'll end up in Arkansas. It's just the timeline hasn't worked like I wanted it to. And so I'm still in Kansas for the time being.
Okay.
Not that far. I come a lot. I'll be there next weekend. Next weekend.
I mean, you're here as often as I am, so you
For
might
the
as well.
bullshit,
That's what I did.
Good point. Yeah.
You know. Well, we're going to take a really quick break and hear from one of our sponsors, and we'll be right back, guys. Do you ever wish your morning coffee was easier to make, yet still tasted great? How frustrating is it when you use a French press and you have to clean it up, or God forbid, you have to drink instant coffee? Wildland Coffee puts delicious, freshly ground coffee into tea bags. You might be thinking, that can't be good. Hear me out though. It tastes just like a French press, but has all the ease of tea. All you need is hot water, and you have an amazing cup of coffee with no mess or cleanup. Use code LADYOverland10 to get 10% off your first order at www.wildlandcoffee.co. Yay! And they're out of the Pacific Northwest. Speaking of
really?
PNW, we were talking about earlier. Yeah, they're great. It's a great little company, and they, a lot of people take that coffee backpacking and hiking and kayaking because it's such a small little footprint. You can use it like a tea bag. It's awesome. So, love that stuff. I like products, and I like building relationships with sponsors with things that you actually can use and are beneficial. I mean, that's important. So having a coffee in a tea bag is such a great idea, and it's good coffee. So, but good question. Arkansas. Oh yeah, see,
yeah,
you need to move to Arkansas because we all love your dog.
There's always something going on in Jasper.
So, okay, apparently I'm the new visitor guide for Jasper. This weekend, Jasper is having an all-day farmers market and craft market and
on the square, right?
A whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's from like 10 in the morning till like 6 at night.
Yeah.
It's going to be an all-day thing. Like we've said, my husband and kids and I are moving to Jasper, so we're kind of getting to know the community there and getting out there and seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
So we're going to be going to that stuff this weekend. We're very excited about it.
That's awesome. So is Jasper a relatively small town then? I don't think I've ever been there. Okay.
It is, but it's right just north of the Ozarks, Ozark National Forest, and it's beautiful around. There's a lot of scenic mountains, and there's a lot of kayaking and camping and hiking and just a lot of outdoor activities there. I think
the Arkansas Grand Canyon is there.
Yep.
That's a thing.
Yeah, and it's kind of centrally located. So it's 2 hours to Little Rock. It's 2 hours up to Aaron's shop in Springfield. It's 2 hours over to see Arla and Tony. So we kind of can go wherever we need to go.
Love that. That's awesome.
But yeah, very excited.
Yeah.
So I did have a question for you. Have you, since you're kind of new to the off-road and overlanding world, have you ever experienced any kind of sexism or any issues or anybody giving you a hard time because you're a female representing an off-road product or that kind of product?
I guess it would depend on the context. That I've been blessed to really travel with friends, so I get shielded from anything that I might run into if I was by myself or need help. Any type of situation that might be. One funny story I can think of is I don't remember the whole backstory, but basically the comment was made to me by a man. he's looking at my truck and he goes, "Why are you driving that? That's a man's rig. That's a man's truck." And I said, "Well, thank you." Anyway, but yeah, so I take a lot of pleasure in that experience because, again, having not been out, but still like driving around, it's just the faces are priceless. I really enjoy when I'm driving around and they're doing the double take because it looks awesome, and then they don't know what to do when they realize it's a female driving. It's almost like I get a mix. I get a mix of the people who are like quickly look away are the ones that are like gawky.
Oh,
It's just priceless. I just love it so much, and I don't know if that's because growing up with three older brothers, I always wanted to be cooler like them, and so this is like redemption for me. It's like finally I've achieved this status of like, yeah, that's right.
That's right. I'm a badass.
Yeah, that's just a girly girl. Like, I do cringe when I hear noises because there's still a part of me that's like, oh, my baby. But I can.
We all do that.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So I think that's been the biggest part of that. Honestly, it's probably more of what goes on in my own head about it because I feel intimidated, and there's just those messages that came from who knows where of like, should I really be doing this? And do I really have a place here? And maybe I just need to go like back over into that industry where I belong more. And I think some of that comes from having done one thing for 20 plus years and then jumping over to this other world. There's a lot of like insecurity with that because one of my favorite quotes is be willing to suck at something if you're trying something new until you get better at it. Really loosely paraphrased there. But yeah, I think I get in my own head about it more than I've ever encountered someone externally saying, "What are you doing?" It's more like I'm afraid that someone will say that. So I try to like hide or diminish myself because there's so much insecurity about, do I even belong here? Do I even know what I'm doing? And I'm a perfectionist. So when they talk about the technical things of picking a line and when all else fails, send it. I'm like, I don't know what that means. And I don't want to look foolish or stupid or like a girl because I'm not navigating the rocks correctly. And
have to be towed out of there. Heaven forbid.
Well, that but honestly, any of the men I've dealt with while in that scenario have been so supportive and so encouraging and just telling me, that's just how you learn. You're gonna bang stuff, you're gonna hear stuff, and it's fine. Just be confident, own it, and go for it. And so I would say that my personal experience with men out in this has been really affirmative and positive. And it's myself that I'm battling with those crazy ideas and thoughts and archaic thinking of this isn't my scene and I belong somewhere else, And so it's been a very welcoming community for the people I hang out with anyway. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that both Arla and I have experienced that as well. Your own self-doubt, your own, thinking, do I really belong in this community? Do I really, play a valid role? Am I just a poser? Am I doing, what I want to do and learning what I need to learn? And, but that's why I like doing the camping retreats for women. And I like doing, women's rides and women and men rides, because I think the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And that's the whole goal of this podcast, is to show people, hey, we're all doing it, whether we're female or male, we're all getting out there. We're kind of going past our comfort zone and doing things and trying new things. Did I think that at 47 and Arla at 29 would be doing a Rebel Rally this year? No. But we were like, you know what? What the heck? You only live once. It's something that, for her 30th birthday, which is a big milestone birthday, plus 20, we're we're doing something really cool. And I think it's something that we will definitely remember. And, you just have to be willing to step out of that comfort zone.
For sure.
Well, like for me, whenever we got the Jeep, I started off as the driver of the Jeep, and we started doing a little bit of stuff to it and whatnot. And I had such bad anxiety, if you will, or just hearing it drag or some sort of noise on my brand new Jeep. I would honestly just lose my mind. Tony would just have to take over because I was so freaked out about a scratch or something happening to it. Now I'm kind of like, meh. It took me a long time to really get past that though. And, and start driving because it would just freak me out.
Yeah.
Well,
Just the
And
whole
now
thing
she's
is
like,
thinking there's
oh,
damage. You
water
know?
crossing, just a little puddle. It's fine. Send it.
Oh, I love going. I love that. Yes.
well, I definitely appreciate you sharing that because I look at you guys as like professionals, and I'm over here being like,
No,
what
man.
year do I put it in? What does for low mean? But yeah,
Yeah.
and I love what you shared about Tony too. Just whether it is someone you're in a relationship with, or you're friends with, or some random person on the trail, like those people who are in your corner, like Chris Marler, another good example. Because when you were saying how there were moments where you're like, I really just can't do this. Please take over. I tried that with Chris one time. I was like, I can't, I just can't do this. And he learned to tell me, he looks at me dead in the eye and he goes, yes, you can.
You will. Yeah.
You will be fine. I mean, I'm like, yes, sir. And I'm shaking and I'm like,
Okay.
all the things.
Yeah.
I'm crying for you right now.
And I did it. And after he goes, see, didn't I do it right? I said, no. But I did it. Fine. Maybe later this will all, feel redemptive. But, so angry. Because I was stressed and freaked out, but he just looked at me so dead in the eye, and it wasn't judgmental, it wasn't harsh. It was tough love, And
it's harder when it's your spouse because there's a little bit of
really,
Yeah, a little bit of.
for me. I'm a little, and he's trying to get me to calm down. I'm like, I'm not calming down.
Tell me to calm down.
A lot to learn still.
Yeah,
He must not know about you.
Yeah, you must not know.
No,
Anyway.
that's awesome. Yeah. Really, I mean, I think that the biggest anxiety I get when I go out on trails is the fact that my vehicle is my primary vehicle. I don't trailer it there, use it to play, and then take it home with something else. Like if I mess that up, that's my vehicle I use to get around with.
That's right.
So that puts a whole level of stress on you. So
I think that was another thing too. Is like I drive this every day to work, and I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
Scrape.
But I think it's good that we're doing it anyway. It's good to get out there and learn your vehicle and learn those lines that you want to take and figure out what works and what doesn't, so for the next time. And
and even as a relationally driven person, and my personification of my truck as like my literal baby, I feel like it's really deep in my relationship with her too. You mentioned like getting to know your truck, know your vehicle, know what it can do, and there is a feel to it, and I love that piece of it because in a way it's a relationship. Doesn't talk back, doesn't have a mind of its own, but it's an extension of yourself. So maybe I'm really saying it's a relationship with yourself that you're further exploring and recognizing your new. Anyway, we could get super philosophical there.
Wow, that was really deep. I have to hold on a minute. Hold on. Okay.
It's all about discovery. Like it's adventure, it's fun,
Yep.
it's adrenaline, but even more than that, it's discovery. You're learning, you're challenging, you're growing. It's uncomfortable. You get angry, you're stressed, but there's still a reward at the end of it. And it's another funny thing when we're on that the Lady Veteran ride, and James was telling me, he's like, afterwards, it was another one of the situations where someone told me, just suck it up, princess, you got this. And I did. I was angry about it.
He's good at that too.
And he goes, yeah, but don't you feel the reward that that you did this? I was like, no, I don't feel any kind of payoff because I'm still mad,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of feels with this, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's a good outlet for if you're feeling some pent up frustration and you just need to like release something. It's a good cleansing of the palette of emotions as well. So,
oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
You can go out there and scream and lose your, what on the trail, and take a deep breath, get back in your rig, and move forward, and be like, "Whew, I needed that."
Breathing, so huge.
Yes. Sometimes you forget to breathe. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for real.
So, what we got? Amy said we all started somewhere. We all had a first experience. That's true.
All true.
Mm.
You'll build your confidence.
The more you do it. I don't think he meant to say encryption, but yes, it will build your confidence the more you do it, for sure. And that, again, that's building confidence, improving your communication skills, kind of pushing that envelope and trying new things. That's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely.
Yeah.
So my next question for you is, give me an example of something you consider your greatest accomplishment so far in life. Like, what do you feel like, wow, I cannot believe that I achieved that?
Right. Oh man, it's kind of funny because I look at my life as having a lot of phases or chapters, maybe. sections. Maybe I'm a trilogy. And I think back to, early in life, I was always super like a go-getter, and I was always reading and wanting to learn leadership and do all the things, and a lot of encouragement from my parents to explore that and find my passion, what I want to do with life and how to make the world better. And so I actually owned a restaurant very soon out of high school, of all things, and enjoyed the 15 minutes of fame, I call it, because I was young, dumb, and passionate. You can do a lot of things when you're those three things.
Yeah.
But with support, because I think the theme of my life has been, it is the people that have been my community and my support, whether that be family in that first phase, because I'm kind of the only people in my life at that point, or friends. And it's always about the people that have encouraged you to get there. And I see overlanding and off-roading as another piece of that. But it's really interesting because when I was 18, 19 years old, believe in me and I'm going to go for it. And I never even questioned it. I just jumped. I was the send it girl. I was all about yeah, let's go, let's do it, But it's funny how life starts to knock you down, and now you've got a lot of this weight to carry of griefs, of losses, of heartbreaks, of disappointments, of, for me, at the 15 minutes of fame, had a restaurant. Oh, look at me. And that was awesome for that time. I got to influence some people, which was ultimately a greater reward. And then through a series of events, lost the restaurant, ended up going through a terrible relationship breakup, and all of the things. When you just have the country song of everything going wrong, including your dog being hit by a car. Can we talk about that? I know, right? So I'm like, well, how old is I? 27, and life was over, because I'm like, that's it. I'm done.
I've peaked. That's it. Yeah.
I can't. I'm just gonna live life and figure. And then I found Chick-fil-A. True story. And I ended up kind of being in that comfort zone of I know food and I know people. And Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays. Who doesn't love that? So I started.
Don't love that.
Right.
Arla doesn't love that.
Clear, I always crave Chick-fil-A on Sunday.
On Sunday, you're like,
okay, that's fair. But yeah,
it's God's day.
I love it. It's true. And so I kind of continued that same theme of restaurants. I know this, I can do this. Again, just different people supporting me through that. And then now with this most recent transition, starting over, learning something new, but with wisdom, but also a lot less like fire and passion, because so much of the hard stuff of life diminished that. So if I were to summarize that, what's my greatest accomplishment is, I guess, somewhere deep within here, there's been a perseverance and a grit. And after getting knocked down so many times, I didn't jump right back. I jump up a lot slower than I used to.
Same, girl. Same.
But just I don't get it. And this really sucks. But I'm not going to quit, because that's just, it's not my cup. There have been so many times where quitting was just the sweet release, right? We think in our minds that it's too much and I can't. And it's just about take the next rock. And one thing, a theme I've heard a lot as I've learned how to navigate literal rocks. And Amanda was actually the person who said it to me first. She said, if you just need to pause and you need to breathe, do it. Do what you need to do. Don't push yourself so hard, and don't be afraid to ask for help. And kind of what Chad was saying earlier, ask questions. And that's so hard for me, because as I look back through my life, being Miss Independent, and look at me, I own a restaurant, and those were all valid things, but I did all of that with this idea that I did that. And so as I've gone through life, I've learned that it isn't just about you doing you and being independent. We're not made that way. It's great to stand on your 2 feet, but we need people, we need support, and we need community. So my greatest accomplishment in life is learning the lesson that it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to receive help and share that experience. There's nothing to prove here. Just discover who you are. It's going to be messy. It's going to be ugly. You're probably going to want to quit every other day. But there are people that are going to say, you can do this. You got this. And it's been huge, because honestly, that's gotten kind of harder as I've gotten older. But I see the need for it in a different way than I ever did before, because now I don't have all the fire and passion that I can just muscle through things. I really do need to rely on people. And that's been a really helpful, awful, painful, gloriously messy lesson to learn. So people,
but it's a great lesson to learn.
You gotta have some people.
You gotta have a tribe to lean on, for sure.
Absolutely.
That's right. Tony said he had Chick-fil-A today for lunch. I'm a little grumpy with him right now.
Actually, I had it yesterday.
What the cuss, man?
Hey, there's always that to fall back on. And that's what I love about Chick-fil-A. It's everywhere. So it's like a home away from home. So when I need a touch back to something that feels like, lovey, I go there.
Plus, it's delicious.
It's
I mean,
delicious. It's just
good
great.
stuff for sure. Amanda said, yes, take a break when needed. It's okay. Yes, girl.
Yes,
and I think
girl.
Amanda probably feels similar to the way I do from being from a military background. A lot of the feeling like you have to prove something you put on yourself, especially when you're a female in the military. And you have to get out of that mindset. You don't have anything to prove to anybody. You don't have to succeed at every single thing you do. You're going to fail sometimes. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to break something on your rig. You're going to take the wrong line. You're going to do something goofy and stupid, and you just have to kind of roll with it and move forward, So.
For sure.
Lucky. Sorry, I'm reading the comments.
Yeah,
They're talking about DoorDash.
I'm like, who is this guy? I didn't even know he knew how to DoorDash. What? I've never even DoorDashed.
Tony
okay,
knows how to DoorDash. Yes.
Chad says he's his own DoorDash. Well, Chad lives in the middle of nowhere. Not gonna lie.
I ain't gonna have DoorDash where I live now.
And you ain't either, Jasper.
Nope. I have to drive to get food. But I did eat at the Ozark Cafe this weekend in Jasper, and that was delicious.
Nice. Not too bad, is it?
Yeah,
it's so cute.
Pretty good.
Almost swear.
Very friendly people. Good time. So, do you have any plans on the horizon for 2023? Are you going to do some more shows? Are you going to do a little bit of traveling? What's your plans?
That's a great question. I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely in this season of coming through a big year of transitions and just figuring out everything we just talked about. It didn't sound beautiful, right? I wish I could really share with you the 10 months that led up to that statement because, man, that was ugly. Honestly, I've just been kind of like, what am I doing tomorrow? So people say 2023. I'm like, say what? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's December.
It's coming up.
So I don't know. We'll just kind of see what happens. I've never been a resolution maker, or really actually have been a plan maker, but I'm really trying to embrace this let go of the need to have a plan and go 100 miles an hour to get there and just see how life unfolds. And that's super anxiety producing, might I add. But as far as the business goes, we've got our regular shows on the docket. We're going to do the Overland Expo shows, more just the traditional shows. We're probably going to stick with those. We're not looking to expand on a lot of shows quite yet this next year. Just really kind of continuing to build on the communities within those shows we've already done, getting to touch back with our revisiting customers and then all that other stuff, and kind of just see where things go from there. I know we're looking to do a lot more just with content, whether it be podcasts or resources for our customers. We've gotten a lot of feedback that they have questions or videos I want to see how to use it.
How to,
and then mostly recently, as folks have kind of uncovered this modularity of GoTreads where you can add panels, make them as long as you want. We've got a lot of people asking how many panels can I get? And so we're looking to kind of just really open up the world for folks on what not only the product offers, but how you can make it your own, whether it be different colors or extra panels, just all the things, and really just kind of build the community of our GoTreads family within the extended family of folks who already have the product. We don't want to neglect them because we don't want to just be all about the next sale and the new customer. We love them and we want them. And yes, it's always going to be focused. We are a business, but really want to kind of also dial into those folks who've been loyal customers who are, maybe only used it once or twice, or maybe have used it 100 times. How can we continue to stay in touch with you, enrich your life, really just allow people to kind of innovate and see how the product can work even better for them? Because maybe they're like me and they had the product for a really long time and never really used it for traction because I've avoided situations like that. Just really kind of growing the community within the GoTreads family as well. So people.
Chris is bragging that he has the biggest set of GoTreads. I see. Sure, Chris. That's what they all say. And Tracy asked, Briggs and Coffee in Little Rock next weekend. Is that your plan?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I've been on the fence about it because I don't have a good reason. I've just been on the fence about it. So yes, I'll be there. This is me officially committing to the whole world on this, that yes, I'll be there. Because I know it would be good for me. there's a lot of people there that are my tribe that would be really good to see them again. So yes, I'm going to be in Little Rock next weekend.
Awesome.
Boom! There you have it. GoTreads in the
go.
house in the LR.
You heard it here first, folks.
You heard it here.
Yes.
Yes.
Big announcement, bro. Big announcement.
That's right. We had the scoop. The important stuff.
Pat's Off-Road says flat bags that fit under the back seat. True.
Yeah.
Multiple function. Oh, Amy's excited.
Yeah.
She's coming to see Pression, not you, Amy.
I love being at the farm. All the animals love them.
I
Oh,
know.
But yeah.
See you. Oh, you got them fired up now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
They're all excited now, girl.
Where's
You're
Lee at?
committed.
You don't say nothing about that?
Love these folks. Just amazing. And I know that's not, I know we have a pretty cool, unique crowd in Arkansas, and I'll always be biased and say that, but I have no doubt that there's a lot of communities within this larger community that have that same type of kinship. And we're messy, we're ugly, we don't always get along, but we're family, right? And we're real, and that's
what family does.
Yeah, exactly. That's just
My family does. I mean, we're very dysfunctional. It's fine.
Speak for yourself. I'm perfect. Hello.
No, that's okay. That's a whole other podcast we'll talk about some other time. No, but speaking of shows, we or I or both of us, one or both of us will be at Expo West doing a ladies class.
Nice.
It will be at the Southeast Overland Expo, and we will also be at More Expo doing a ladies class. So
awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. That's exciting.
Very excited about that.
We will miss Rito this year. Sad about that, but that is during the
rally.
The rally. Chris Marler, I will drive down and smack you, bro.
She will too.
You owe me hibachi just for saying that.
Uh-oh. Now you did it.
Now you did it. Feed me and I'm happy.
Well, we had a great time with you tonight, and we really, really appreciated you being on the show. We love you to death.
Love you guys.
Can't wait to wheel and camp with you again. Hopefully very soon. Yes.
Let's go. And I'll, ask more questions and take more breaths. And thank you for y'all are amazing. Just such an inspiration to me.
Thank you.
I respect you guys, and I just love getting to know you and hear your stories and learn from you. It's been awesome. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Amy says she'll be cheering us on from Rito.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bye, Aaron.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and have a wonderful night.
Sounds good. Bye.
Peace.